All right, so I don't like the way this was turning out. I think I skipped a few steps. So I'm going to make a little sled here to hold this piece right here. And I'm gonna do some more epoxy in there. And also, if you look, you can barely see the epoxy. It's off on the side, so it's not gonna really show up on the neck. So if we were to put it on here, you're gonna cut. So you're gonna cut a lot of that off, so you're not gonna have the color. And I really want that color to show up. I'm gonna cut this, build me a little sled, or whatever you wanna call it, tape it up, get some epoxy ready, and we'll go from there. Every time in the eyeballs. I don't need this very tall. You know, we just need it to hold enough, you know, so it doesn't flood everywhere. That's all. Yeah, just so it doesn't flood. I'm just doing the old super glue and some accelerator. They have all kinds of tape for this, but I have tons of this aluminum tape, and it says that this works just fine. So we're about to find out. Should probably get something so I stop using my teeth, because I know my mom watches these. Sorry, Mom. I'm putting the tape on the inside of here because I don't want it to leak out of the corners. And two,
another one.
It's supposed to prevent it from sticking as much. I mean, worst case scenario, I guess, is we just stick it over there on the joiner planer and rip it out.
And another one.
I don't know if this is a good idea, bad idea, if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try the old tape and super glue method to hold it down so it doesn't float. Worst case, start over. Which kind of seems to be my thing. Name the channel Start Over Channel. Okay, so the first layer you're supposed to do like a seal coat with it. Let it set up for a few minutes. I don't even know how many minutes. I'm gonna give it like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not giving it that long, which is probably completely wrong. But I'm gonna do it anyways. And then I'm gonna mix up another batch while I'm doing that. That's gonna have my green in it. Was this the one I used last time? Yeah. Look at that. Parakeet green. You probably can't even see it. But it works. So This is a seal coat of, I don't know if that's even the right name, but that's what I'm calling it. It's supposed to prevent bubbles from happening, because that's one big issue. You know, all the big and famous guys, they have vacuum pots or stuff like that that suck all the bubbles out. But we're going to go the poor man route. We're going to use a heat gun. Has a very unusual smell. Kind of smells like cat pee. Let me see it. While this sets up for just a minute, I'll mix another batch to flood this whole area with the green goo. No, I'm gonna get a hot glue gun. I'm gonna seal both corners of that right down here, because when I pour it, I have a feeling it's gonna want to run out. So I'm gonna use some hot glue to dam those in. So let me get my hot glue gun. Actually, might be my daughter's hot glue gun. Okay, so it's my hot glue gun.
Why you always lying?
It's my hot glue gun. For all you who think I just use my kids' tools. I just found an old drill bit I'm going to use. I put some zip ties on the end of it here. Work as a stirrer. That's a weird word. My wife's a speech pathologist, so you think I would know how to say that properly. However, I do say rural. Took me a long time to get over the heel for hill and hill for heel. I still do it. She still calls me out on it, but I'm from Oklahoma, leave me alone. She's from Maryland, so she's got this don't and go. Is that a Maryland thing? Because she seems to think that that's an East Coast thing. Leave me a comment if you're over there in that area. If that is an East Coast thing to. Also, is it Western? Because here we say Western and Eastern. Did I say she was out west, Maryland? I meant East. Eastern. East. Eastern. Whatever it is. I say Eastern. She says Eastern. Let me know what you say. Don't run your hot glue string over your whole piece. Just gonna run a bead around it just to make sure it doesn't come out the bottom, or at least if it does, it's not very much. I may end up just putting so much crap in here I can't even get it out. All right, well, that's cooling in there. I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing. And if you didn't see the last one, this is craft resin, crystal clear, 24-hour curing time, comes with pumps, and it's equal parts. So we're just winging it here. Like a bird, just winging it. That's gonna be reusable. Tons and tons of bubblies. So I'm gonna have to use the hot air gun a lot. The other thing you're supposed to do with this is level it. But I know this table that I built is really level. So I'm going to set it back here out of the way. Just let this thing harden up. I think hot glue strands are worse than spider webs. It's like once you get those things on you, you can't get them off. I have been doing a little tinkering on the computer. Not Tinkercad, actually it's been Fusion, which I like the old version better before they like started making all these assemblies and stuff, but anyways. So let's see. Let's go here. You saw that I made this body with a template. So I've got this ready, and it's a Telecaster, but I did not have a Telecaster template. I had this one from StewMac, which, I mean, it's all right, but it's got a generic head on it, which means you'll have to modify the head and do it whatever way you want, and it's okay. But did me a little CAD job and made me up a Telecaster neck with a Telecaster shaped head. Get ready for the Fender lawsuits. Even though I'm just making this as a gift, it's a gift, Fender. It's a gift. So I'm gonna, instead of using that and having to create my own head shape, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out on a bandsaw, which is over there, and I'm gonna spare you because everybody's seen a bandsaw. We're gonna cut this out, and I'll be back. We'll tape this on here, and then we'll route it out and get a nice head going, and maybe we can go ahead and start pocketing this to receive this. Because not only did it work for there, but check that. She's a pretty snug little joint. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little edge of tape on each one of these, so when I go in and route it, it's gonna make it even that much more tighter, and then I can just lightly sand to get just that snug fit. So off to the bandsaw, and I'll be back. Got this all roughed out. I've got this all roughed out. You see, just getting close to my line so my router doesn't have to do as much work. Now I'm gonna glue this on to here, and then take it over to the router and use the template to clean the rest of it up. I want this stuck down really good because I've got a tall bit over there. I do not want this thing shooting in half or breaking on me. So I'm gonna really push down and make sure that that gets on there. I think that's dry enough now. It's been a few minutes. So I'm gonna take it over here to the router. I'm not gonna take you with me. It's loud and annoying. So I'll probably just edit that part out. I hope this is a win because it looks pretty. Well, don't want to break that. Buddy of mine that we're working on making drums together. This is a red cedar shell that I'm working on. Then I just, with my CNC, this will be my my wood ring. So my rims are going to be wood. This is a template. Just need to do some staves. We'll talk about that on another video. But this turned out nice. So, booyah! What is my thickness? So I think my thickness is still too big here. I am 1.163 on my thickness. And the total should be 75.75, so 3/4 of an inch, and then a 1/4 inch fretboard on top. So I'm not going to take any thickness off of this yet, but we can take this down to 0.75 now inside this pocket with some Forstner bits. We'll drill it down, kind of just clear this out, and then we'll take it on the router. And I need to get a 1/4 inch round router bit in there for a template router because these edges are 1/4 inch. So that way when we hit these corners, that 1/4 inch round will line up with this and it'll set in there beautifully. So I'm gonna take this over to the drill over there. I might take it to my big one. I think I'm gonna take it to my big drill and do it on that one. Either way, I'm gonna pocket this out and then we'll go from there. All right, I did the best I could. That Forstner bit started jumping around. So, and this is the depth I have to go, and I stopped short because it has a little pointy head. We can get that with the router where we won't have that little point sticking down in the, have a bunch of pokes and have to do our whole body over because you don't want that at that level. So I'm gonna get my plunge router. We're gonna pocket this out. And remember, I did a 1/4 inch radius on this edge, so I need a 1/4 inch bit, that's the template bit that's gonna pocket this. First, I'm gonna set this really close to the depth we went with that Forstner bit, and then I'm gonna start pocketing this out. And like I said before, now that I remember, I'm gonna put some tape on the inside edge of these two. What that's gonna do is it's gonna make this bushing, or this bearing that's right here, stick out just a hair more on each side. And then that way, when we go to push this in here, it's going, like, see that one already made it way more snug. But if we put another one in there, it's gonna be real snug, and that's what we want. We want that just super tight fit. We're gonna get it by adding just a little tape. I about messed up. That bearing just, I thought it was deeper, and it just barely was riding the top. So we're gonna sink it down just a little more.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story I'm sticking to.
Now we're just gonna lower it down a little more. We're just gonna sneak up on. I'm gonna try to take this pass and one more. Boy. Go ahead and put this on the planer and get it down. It's not as tight as I wanted it to be, but that's because the tape got hit by the blade on one side and came off. But she's pretty. I don't know if you can see my marks. But I'm not going to use the pencil. I shaded it in so the wood part. Focus. Focus. I shaded it in so that wood part would be right on my mark. On both sides. And I'm transferring the center mark over to the bottom so we can make sure that we're in the center. It lines dead up with the center of the body here at this seam. Well, I think that's enough for today. I've got a lunch date with a drummer, a buddy of mine. And yeah, we'll continue this another day. Maybe I'll just come back this afternoon and start filming again. You won't know the difference. It's just whenever I post videos. So you can see, got some holes, got some marks ready to go for the head to go on. I've got some parts coming in that are the threaded inserts. Come on, spit it out. So when those come in, I'll drill these in, screw in those inserts, and then the screws will be recessed in here. But I still have to take off some here, and I'm waiting on this. So we've got a lot to do. I try not to get ahead of myself too much. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Love you, Mom.